Hello, everyone. Deadline management and keeping track of contract durations is one of the most common topics when we talk about contract management, and that's exactly what this video is about. I've brought along a sample contract for this purpose again. In this case, it's a maintenance contract for a municipal utility, and like almost every other contract, this maintenance contract has a certain term with a start date, an end date, and in this case, also an automatic renewal. Now let's jump to the relevant section in the contract. Here, the terms regarding the duration and termination of this contract are specified. That means the contract begins on June 1st, 2026. A minimum term of 36 months, so 3 years, is firmly agreed upon, which means up to and including May 31st, 2029. The contract will automatically be extended by another 24 months unless it is proactively terminated. The notice period for this is 6 months before the respective contract term or the end of this term. So that's pretty standard. So what happens now? So of course, we read this information automatically, but if I now click on tasks in the sidebar above, I will find this task, which is called, let me open it, check automatic renewal, maintenance contract. The status is open. The contract in question is linked. In this example, it's about a dynamic date. What does dynamic mean? The date is not a fixed date, but rather it's relative to the contract's end date, which we analyzed, specifically 6 months before that. Why 6 months? Because of the 6-month notice period. It repeats every 2 years. Why every 2 years? Because if the contract is not terminated, it will be extended by another 24 months. That is, by another 2 years. Yes, and the first reminder about this will come 4 weeks before the last possible cancellation date, so that I still have enough time. And then this will happen automatically every 2 years, as long as we are satisfied with the contract and everything continues as before. In this case, it's also possible for me to assign one or more people responsible for this task. In our example, Julia is handling this for us. I could also add Jacqueline now. This means that these people will proactively see these tasks displayed on their dashboard and will need to process them. This way, we ensure that no deadlines are missed or forgotten and that everyone always knows what they need to take care of next. Right, I can go ahead and save this now. There we go. So where do I actually find this information at the end of the day? Or how do I even receive these reminders? Well, if I jump back to the dashboard, this is actually one of the most prominent elements on the dashboard. That means I get a chronological display here showing which contracts I should take care of next. In the same way, we also work with calendar integrations. We also have a calendar view here in ContractIQ, which is also frequently used. There, I can always see on a monthly, weekly, or daily basis which deadlines or to-dos are coming up next for which contracts. By the way, deadlines, especially termination deadlines, are a classic example, but it's not limited to just that. For example, they can also be compliance deadlines, reporting to-dos, or deadlines for when a rent escalation is to be adjusted or when a price needs to be changed. So in this sense, it's flexible, but the most common use case is actually the typical contract extension or termination deadline. Exactly. And yes, in addition to the calendar view here, we also integrate, for example, with Outlook or Google Calendar so that I have all my information there as well. I can then click directly on the corresponding reminder and am taken straight to the relevant contract. Exactly. Thank you very much. See you next time.